Oh, there you go. This meeting's being recorded. And for those joining the video, we will be using a yoga strap this morning. So we have one nearby. And I'm going to make sure my volume is up. And then we'll begin over on our mats. You could begin sitting up or lying down. Whatever, just take a moment to check in and think, what would feel better? Would I like to just lie down and relax? Would it feel better to sit up nice and tall? Either way is fine, but whichever you choose, take a moment to feel your relationship to the ground. So if you're lying down, place your feet on the floor and just feel your body supported by the floor. Feel that connection to the ground beneath you. If we're sitting up, let's feel our sitting bones root down to support our nice upright spine. Feel whatever other parts of your feet or legs touch the floor. And we might choose to keep our eyes open. You might choose to close your eyes. But we'll begin by bringing our awareness to the present moment. So we're just going to take in our experience of being here now. What we feel, what we smell, what we hear. If our eyes are open, what we see. Just bring our full awareness to the here and now. Letting our thoughts about what happened before right now or what's going to happen later, just letting those thoughts and ideas fall away. And really connecting to how it feels to be where you are in the present moment. Maybe you notice the beating of your heart. Maybe you notice the sound of your breathing. Maybe you notice some birds outside. As we're focusing on the here and now, let's begin to focus on our breathing now. Noticing your in-breath and your out-breath. And let's begin to deepen both of those. Let the in-breath become a little fuller, a little deeper, a little more expansive. And allow your exhale the time that it takes to fully empty and release. Feel that little pause at the bottom of your exhale. And then let that breath expand. Breathe it in. Notice where the breath goes. And notice how it feels as the breath releases. And can we do this very deep, full breathing and maintain ease in the muscles of the mouth? So maybe think about softening the roof of your mouth. So the jaw is relaxed. Let your eyes be relaxed. Let your forehead be relaxed as you continue to breathe deeply in and out. And then begin to transition to a more natural breath. Let's keep our focus on the breath, even as it is a more familiar or normal way to breathe. This is our objective in our practice, is to really pay attention to what we're experiencing in the present moment. So before we begin our movement practice, let's just take a moment to consider how we're feeling this morning, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And then use that information to guide us in how we want to move and practice this morning. Perhaps setting an intention for one thing you'd like to focus on or invite in, breathe in, or cultivate as we practice together this morning. Maybe breathe that one thing in. Consider infusing it into your practice this morning. Great. All right, we're going to start lying on our back. So if you were sitting up, you can transition to lying down. And if you're lying down, maybe just draw your knees into chest and kind of sway side to side. Just begin by loosening up a little bit. And then let's find our strap. And we're going to place it around the ball of one foot. Doesn't matter which leg you start with. But whatever leg it is, hold the two parts of the strap with that hand. And then straighten the other leg out on the floor. Let the straight leg on the floor be nice and heavy. And then with the leg that you're holding, let that leg fall away so that your leg is relaxed and your arm is holding that leg. And the leg is straight. It's fallen far enough away that the leg is straight. And you're holding it up with your hand holding the strap. And then with that hand holding the strap, just begin to slowly, gradually bring that leg toward the ceiling. And you'll start to feel a stretch in the back of the leg. And depending on how tight your hamstrings are, that stretch can get intense fairly quickly. And at some point, if you continue pulling your leg up, you really can't keep the leg straight. Either that knee is going to bend or that bottom leg is going to start to curl up. So just come to the point where you really can't keep the leg straight, and don't go overboard at this point. And then let the leg fall away again. So the leg is relaxed, you're holding it with your hand, and you're just going to gently bring it up, get a nice gentle stretch, just to the point where if you go any further, it's a little too much. And then let it fall away, relaxed. And then just nice, easy pulling up so you feel a little stretch. Yeah. Now we're going to let the leg fall away, and I want you to draw it out to the side and then circle it up and then kind of cross it over and then let it fall away. So we're making big circles. And at this point, if your hips want to rock and roll as your leg moves, that's fine. Go ahead and let your hips move in any way you want. Make the circle as big as you like. And just start to warm up the leg, the hip, with this big circular motion. And then the next time the leg is up in the air, pause there and take that leg all the way across till it becomes parallel to the floor. So you're rolling onto the opposite hip. Take a breath. And then roll back, let that leg come up toward the ceiling, and then let that leg open out to the side, nice and supported here, and take a breath. And then bring the leg back up, and then I want you to bend the knee and kind of pull that foot down over the knee. The knee will go a little wider than your body probably. And then push the leg up straight. We're going to point the toes. And we're going to flex the foot and pull down, bending the knee. And then stretch up and point the toes. And a couple more like that, bending. And then go up and point. And one more time, bend. And then point. Great. All right, open up the strap and slide that other foot up. Place the other foot in the strap, follow the foot, take the other leg that was up in the air and just relax it on the floor. Let it be nice and heavy. And then holding that leg up with that same hand, holding the two parts of the strap, let the leg fall away. So the leg is relaxed and you're holding it with your hand. And then start to gently bring the leg up, just an easy stretch initially. And then let it fall away. So just taking a little time to kind of get some length in the back of the leg. And then let it fall away. And then pull it up. So there's a nice, easy stretch there. And then as the leg falls away this time, begin to circle it out to the side. And then bring it up and around. And then cross over. And just kind of go through that range of motion of the hip. As big or as small as feels nice for you. We're just warming up the hip here, warming up the leg. Circle that leg around again. The next time that leg comes up in the air, we're going to cross it all the way over till that leg is parallel to the floor, rolling onto that other hip, and then bring the leg up. Now we're going to open it out to the side, hold it out there and take a breath. And then bring the leg up, and we're going to bend the knee and pull down, and then we're going to take it up and point the foot. Bend the knee and pull down, and then take the leg up and point. Couple more, bend and pull down, up and point. And last one, bend and then point. Great. All right, let's take the strap off, just set it off to the side. We're going to take both legs up in the air. And this time we're going to do little circles, and we're going to try not to let the hips move. So you could even place your hands on your hip bones. We're going to start making little circles with the legs and then stop at the top. So a little circle around and then stop at the top. And so to keep the hips from moving, we have to brace the core, which is what we want to do. We want to get the core muscles firing to keep the hips from moving. And if you can keep your hips steady and make the circle a little bigger, go ahead and do that. So we're trying not to let those hips rock or roll. Let's go in this direction one more time, and then we'll go the other direction. Circling the legs around, stopping at the top, circling the legs around, stopping at the top. Try not to hold your breath. When we brace the core, we sometimes hold the breath. Keep breathing as you do this. Circle in this direction one more time. And then with the legs up in the air, you can open your arms out wide. We're going to take a breath in. As we exhale, we're going to reverse curl. Just try to lift the hips and then roll back out. Breathe in. Exhale and reverse curl up. Inhale and roll out. Exhale and lift. Inhale and roll out. Just get the deep low belly muscles firing to lift those hips up and then release. Curl up and lower. Let's just do a couple more like this. Last one. And then we'll bend the knees and release the feet down. Let's lift the head up and clasp the hands beneath the head. Let the weight of the head rest into the hands, elbows wide. We'll take a breath in. As we exhale, let's begin to knit the low ribs in and down, and then curl up head, neck, and shoulders, getting shoulder blades off the floor. And then we'll inhale and release back. Exhale, knit and curl up. And then we're going to reach the arms forward, maybe curling a bit further. Now, your ribs are knitting in and down. Can you keep those ribs knitting in and down as you lower back down? Try not to let the ribs pop up toward the ceiling. Reach your arms now overhead. Reach your thumbs back toward the floor without letting the ribs pop up toward the ceiling. And then we're going to bend the elbows. Take the arms out to the side. Scoop the arms down and knit your ribs and curl up. Reach your arms forward. And then keep those ribs knitting into the belly as you lower back down. As you take your arms up in the air, As you reach your thumbs overhead, ribs are still not popping up. Then elbows go wide. We're going to scoop those arms around, scoop up, reach forward. Ribs are knitting in. Again, keep those ribs knitting in. Don't let them pop up as you lower down, as you inhale your arms overhead. One more time, elbows wide, arms go wide, and then we scoop up, knitting the ribs, and then lower down. Keep your ribs knitting. Take your arms overhead. As your arms go overhead, you can have your thumbs reaching back. You could have the back of your hands on the floor. Let your shoulders relax back and down, even as you're keeping the spine fairly neutral and not letting it arch or letting those ribs pop up. Take a breath here. As you exhale, kind of press the back of your shoulders down, lift your arms up, and then let the arms come down at your side. All right, let's roll to the side and make our way around to all fours. Just get nice and square, knees beneath hips, wrists beneath shoulders. Lengthen the spine here. Just feel the whole line of your spine as you're looking straight down at the floor, back of your neck long. Let's take a breath in. As we exhale, we'll drop the tailbone down, round the low back, round the mid back, round the upper back, dropping the head. And then come to your flat back. Lift your tailbone up, start to arch through your spine, drawing your heart forward, looking forward, breathing in. And then just move between those two movements a few more times in any way that feels nice for you. You might do it just like we did. You might add a little side to side motion or a little front to back. Or you might move your shoulders or your head a bit, whatever feels good. Take some time to just move in a way that feels like it's nurturing your spine, connecting you with your breath and your body. Maybe reconnecting with that focus or intention of your morning practice. What are you offering yourself? How are you nurturing yourself? And then we'll begin to transition to our flat back. Let's go ahead and sit back on our heels into child's pose. We're going to slide the arms forward, so extended child's pose, and see if your forehead might reach the floor. It's okay if it doesn't. Just breathe here as your arms are reaching forward and your hips are sitting back. And let's take one arm and reach it way up towards the middle front of the mat. And then take that same hip back towards the back corner of the mat. Look under that arm. Take a big breath into that side. And let the breath go. Slide that hand back. Slide your other hand way up towards the middle front of your mat. Take the same hip over to the side and back towards the back corner of the mat. Maybe look under that arm and take a big breath into that side. And let that breath go. Then we'll separate our arms about as wide as our shoulders, maybe a bit wider. Make our way to downward facing dog. Feeling that connection of the hands pressing into the floor. Feeling the hips drawing up and back. Release the head, shake it out a little bit, free it up. Create space across your upper back between your shoulder blades. Let's bend a knee and press a heel down. And bend that knee and press the other heel down. And just alternate each of those one more time. Trying to get those heels going straight back. And then we'll bend both knees, draw the hips way up and back, breathe in and out. And then let's walk our hands back towards our feet, lowering our heels down, folded over bent knees here, nice and loose. Take a big breath into your upper back. Allow the breath to empty. And then draw your belly in, roll yourself up, unfurl your spine. Stack those vertebrae, one on top of the other. Feet are planted as the head eventually comes up. Let's reach the arms out and inhale and reach up and overhead, lifting the heart. And then we'll exhale our arms down at our side. Great. All right, let's pick up our straps. And we'll just stand with our feet right beneath us. We're going to take the strap and we're going to hold it a little wider than our hips. And we're going to begin by pulling it apart, really pulling on the strap so that there's some tension, some action in the arms with the action of pulling the strap apart. And then bring your arms forward. So you're still pulling apart, and then lower your arms down. So when we bring our arms forward, we could bring the shoulders forward as well, but we're gonna not do that. We're just gonna keep the shoulders nice and broad, and we're gonna just pull on the strap and take it forward and lower it down. Still pulling on the strap now, you might widen your grip. We're gonna reach the arms up and overhead. So there's some work. The shoulders might start to fatigue because we're working on, we're pulling on the strap. So we're getting those shoulder muscles warm by that action. And you could move with your breath. Now, as your arms go overhead, some of us, our tendency would be to push the ribs or arch the back. Let's try not to do that. Just like we did earlier, we kind of keep the ribs knitting in, even as the arms go overhead. And let's just do this one more time. So those shoulder muscles are definitely warmed up because we've been pulling on the strap for such a long time. So this time as your arms come down, just release that tension in the strap. Give it a rest, take a breath. And then pull it apart again. Take your arms overhead. And if it's comfortable to go behind your head, pull behind your head. If it's not, you can go down by your chin. For some people's shoulders, doesn't feel great to go behind. So maybe you're going up and down in front of the chin. Maybe you're going up and down behind the head. You're pulling on that strap again. And we're not letting the ribs push forward or the back arch. So we're just working from the shoulders. And we're going up and down. Again, shoulder muscles might be fatiguing a little bit. And now we have an option. If your hands are in front, and even if your hands are behind, one option is to pull one arm out to the side and come back, and pull another arm out to the side and come back. You could be doing that in front of the head or behind the head, or you could be going back and down and then back up. So if that feels all right, you can do that. You're pulling on the strap. Your grip can widen to any level that feels good, but make sure you're not going arching to get your arms back. Have the movement come from your arms, your shoulders, rather than your spine. Go do whatever one you're doing one more time. And then take the strap up in the air, breathe in, bring it forward and down, and just let your arms relax. Great. That's a nice warm up for the shoulders. Now I want you to take the strap, put a little bit of it on the floor, and then step on it. And then in that same hand as you're stepping on it, kind of get the strap so there's a little, it's like there's the right amount of tension between your foot and your hand. The strap is taut. And then again, just standing with your feet right beneath you, check in with your posture. So a lot of us, our heads are pitched forward. Kind of tuck your chin in and back. So the back of your neck is long, your ear is right over your shoulder. And then we're just going to let the head fall away from the side where we're holding on. So that we're just that'll keep the shoulder down. As the head drops to the side, the shoulder can't hitch up because we're holding on to that strap. It's keeping our arm down. And you might feel a nice stretch along the side of the neck into the top of the shoulder. Could we, first, as your head is forward, can you turn your gaze up towards the side so you're kind of looking up at the ceiling sideways? Your head is forward, but your gaze is kind of side and up. Take a breath doing that. And then let your head follow your gaze. So your gaze was up toward the ceiling. Turn your head up toward the ceiling. Take another breath. And then turn your head back so it's facing forward. Your head is to the side, your gaze is forward. And then straighten up. All right, let's try that on the other side. So we're going to step on the strap. And then with that same hand, we're gonna just make sure there's, tightness from the foot to the hand. Feet are right beneath you. Check in that your head isn't pitched forward. So tuck the chin back and up, ear right over shoulder. And then let your head fall away from that strap that you're holding on to. So the shoulder stays down as the head goes over to the side, and maybe that feels like a nice stretch in the neck and shoulder. Now, as your head is looking forward, can you turn your gaze to the side? So you end up kind of looking up sideways at the ceiling. Take a breath with that gaze over to the side, in and out. And then let the direction of your head turn in the direction of your gaze. So you're rotating your head to look up at the ceiling. And then breathe in and out. And then let your head rotate back so you're looking forward, your head is to the side. And then bring it up. Great. All right. We'll set the strap aside for now. Let's make our way to the front of our mats. And let's stand really rooted, pressing down to stand tall. We'll take the arms and reach them out. Get nice and broad, fingertip to fingertip. As we root down, let's reach the arms up, lifting the ribs and shoulders here. Breathing in. And then we'll swan dive forward. Soft knees as we fold over, letting the head just drop here. Let's place hands on shins and inhale and lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale and fold over. We'll bring our hands to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. Taking those hips up and back, we'll breathe in. As we exhale, let's lower to straight arm plank. We're going to hold here for a bit. So if you want to drop to knees, that's fine. As you push down into your hands, feel weight in your thumb, your pointer finger, your whole hand. Let yourself find length from your ankles to your ears, or from your knees to your ears. Take a breath here. As you exhale, could you bend your elbows a bit and have them pointing back rather than winging out? Can you do that without letting your hips lower down? Keep that support. Take another breath. Let's straighten the arms and lift up and back to down dog. We'll breathe in and out here. Again, lower to straight arm plank. Hold this position long and strong. Then bend the elbows a bit. Take another breath. And then let's make our way to the floor. You might drop to knees and lower yourself down. Let that chest sink as close to the floor as possible. Your nose smushing into the floor. Lift your chin and nose up so you're looking straight down, crown of the head forward, heels of the hands pressing back, toes reaching back. Let's inhale up to baby cobra. So we're finding length here, and then we'll lower back down. Again, let's inhale up to baby cobra and lift our hands up. So you're lifting your chest and pulling your heart forward, not by using your arms, just by using the muscles in your back, basically. Lift your elbows and hug them in. Squeeze in. And then release your hands, release your chest. This time, let's keep our hands down. Inhale up to baby cobra. And if we like, continue to come up a little higher into cobra. And then lower back down. Let's push up to knees. Curl the toes under and lift the knees. And then lift up and back to down dog. We'll breathe in and out here. Looking a bit forward, let's walk our feet up towards our hands and plant our feet beneath us. And we'll sweep our arms out, inhale and rise up, reach up. We'll exhale our arms down at our side. We're going to do that slightly differently. We're going to take a breath in first. And then as we exhale, we're going to lift the arms. As we inhale, we're going to swan dive. As we exhale, we're going to lengthen halfway up and inhale to fold. Great. Hands to the floor. We'll step back to down dog. We'll take a breath here. Exhale to straight arm plank. Take a breath here. Exhale, a little bend in the elbows. We'll take a breath here. And exhale all the way down. Now I want you to take a breath in. And as you exhale, come up into baby cobra or cobra. Inhale back down. Exhale, make your way up and back to down dog. Breathe in and out here. Look a little forward, walk your feet up, plant your feet beneath you. Take a breath. And then as you exhale, sweep your arms out and rise up, reach up. Inhale, arms down at your side. Again, exhale, reach overhead. Inhale, swan dive. Exhale, halfway lift. Inhale, fold. Exhale, back to down dog. Inhale, straight arm plank. Exhale, a little bend in the elbows. Inhale to lower. Exhale, baby cobra or cobra. Inhale, back down. Exhale, back to down dog. Great, nice job. All right, let's take one leg up in the air. Maybe I'll start with the left leg. Breathe in here. And then let's draw that knee up and in towards the chin, towards the front knee. And then inhale that leg up and back. Exhale, draw that knee up and in, lift up in the belly. One more time, inhale that leg up and back. This time, draw that knee up and in, look forward and step that foot out in front into lunge. Or you can drop to knee and then step that left foot out. Get into a nice low lunge, let your hips sink down. And then push into that front foot and rise up. Straighten that front leg. Put your hands on your hips. Orient your hips to the front short line of your mat. And then let's bend that front knee and push that foot down to straighten that leg. We'll bend that front knee and push down to straighten. Couple more times. Bending the knee. Push down to straighten. This time, bend the front knee. Keep that knee bent. Think about the energy of the knee and shin moving forward as the energy of the sitting bone pulls back. So strong, active front leg. Let's drop our arms down now and sweep them forward and up and overhead. Lift up, reach up, breathe in. And then bring those arms forward. Same arm as the front leg. Sweep it down and behind and open into a twist. Take a breath. And then sweep that arm down and forward as you exhale. And then inhale and reach up. Exhale, arms down. Same arm as the front leg sweeps behind. Open up here, take a breath. Exhale, sweep it down, bring it forward. Inhale, reach it up one more time. Exhale, sweep that arm forward. Front arm goes back and behind. Take a breath. Then just let your arms drop down. Lean forward, hands on the floor, step back to down dog. Breathe in and out here. Let's flow. Straight arm plank. Maybe a little bend in the elbows. Lowering all the way down. Take a breath in. As you exhale, come up to baby cobra or cobra. Inhale back down. And make your way up and back to down dog. Breathe in and out here. And then take that other leg, maybe the right leg up in the air. Bend the knee and pull that knee up towards your chin, up towards that front elbow. And then inhale that leg up and back. Bend the knee, pull it up and in, bring it forward. Inhale that leg up and back. One more time, bend the knee in and up. And then look forward, step that foot out to lunge. Get into that low lunge, right foot forward, hips dropping down. Let's press into the front foot. Inhale and rise up. Straightening that front leg, orienting the hips square to the front of your mat. And then we're going to bend the front knee, push that foot down to straighten. Bend the knee, push down to straighten. Again, bend and straighten. This time, bend that front knee and pause there. Feel the energy in that front leg. Knee and shin energy going forward, sitting bone energy pulling back. Then drop your arms down, sweep them forward and up and overhead. Big breath. And then let the arms both come forward. Same arm as the front leg sweeps down and back and behind and opens into a twist. Take a breath. Let that arm from behind drop down as you exhale. Bring it forward. Inhale again, reach up. Exhale, arms go forward, front arm, same as the front leg, reaches back. Inhale, open to a twist. Exhale, one more time, arm sweeps down, forward. Inhale, up. Exhale, forward, front arm down and behind. Inhale, open into your twist. And then as you orient forward, bring your hands to the floor and step back to down dog. Breathe in and out here. Exhale, straight arm plank. Maybe a little bend in your elbows. Take a breath here. Exhale and lower all the way down. All right, let's come up onto forearms now. Get your elbows right beneath your shoulders. We're gonna push the forearms down to lift the chest. We're gonna curl the toes under, and we might come up into a kneeling forearm plank, or we might lift one knee at a time, or we might lift both knees up. We're just gonna hold this plank position here, pushing those forearms down, recruiting strength from your core. If your back kind of bothers you, lift your hips a little bit higher. Really feel all the strength in your legs, in your belly, in your back, in your arms, in your shoulders. Keep breathing here. And let's stay for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, nice work, and 1. Lower yourself down. Take your elbows wide. Let your head rest on your hands. Let everything relax here as you take a breath. Then take one knee and bend it. So your foot faces the ceiling, kind of flex your foot. Press the front of that hip down, lift that leg up. And then feel your hamstring working. Imagine showing off that hamstring muscle. And then as that muscle is engaging, start to extend that leg back, 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 till you're holding up that leg with a really strong hamstring. Take a breath. Lower that leg down. Other leg, bend the knee, flex the foot, and then press the front of the hip down, lift the thigh up. Hamstring really firing as you start to extend that leg back, 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 till you're holding it up with a nice, really engaged hamstring, and then relax. Now hover your head, bring your arms to your side, palms to the ceiling. Press the front of your hips down, lift those legs up. Really feel the strength in the back of the legs. Reach back through your fingertips, pull your heart forward, inhale up to locust pose. First find length, and then could you lift your legs, lift your hands, lift your chest a bit more as you take a breath. And exhale down. Let's try that same thing just with a different arm position. You're welcome to keep your arms here if you like. You could take them out to the side, or you could try arms forward. I'm going to do thumbs to the ceiling. So same legs, pressing down to lift the legs, and then lifting the chest, and just adding a little more weight if your arms are out to the side or forward. And then we'll take a breath. And exhale down. Nice work. Bring hands next to chest. Push the weight back to knees. Take the hips back. We're going to sit back into child's pose. Do a little check-in here. Breathe in and out. When you're ready, lift your heads up, reach your arms out, make your way to downward facing dog. Breathe in and out here. Let's walk our hands back towards our feet, lowering our heels down. And then we're going to bend the knees and lower the hips. Sweep the arms forward, sitting back in a nice low chair. Arms could stay forward, hands could come to heart, or we could reach our arms up and overhead. We're going to breathe in and out here. And then let's push into the feet and legs to inhale and rise up, reach up. Let's lift the heels up, balancing on the balls of the feet. Take a breath as you reach up. And then exhale, heels down, arms down. Great. All right, let's pick up our strap. And we're going to come into a wide stance here. So stepping your feet wide, we'll turn the right foot in and turn the left foot out. And just bend your knee once or twice to just make sure you got a nice distance here. From your front foot to your back foot, you got that back foot planted. It can stay down even as your front knee bends. And then take that strap, put it in the same hand as this front leg, and have a little shorter part of your strap in front and a longer part of your strap in the back part of your hand as it rests in your palm. So that as you grab it and take it overhead and bend your elbow, that long part kind of hangs down. And then take your other hand and grab that longer part. So you've got your hands holding the strap, and then you can walk your hands closer together. Maybe not as close as you can. Leave a little space from closest together. And then, so your top elbow is pointing up, your bottom elbow is pointing down. Your strap is aligned with your spine. And if your head is pitched forward, try to straighten your head up. Don't let your hand behind your head push your head forward. So right now I want you to pull up and pull down with both hands so that, again, your shoulders are working. And as you're pulling up and pulling down, we're going to bend the front knee and straighten the front knee. Now, as you bend the front knee, can you pull the bottom hand down and let it bring the top hand down with it? And as you straighten the front leg, can you pull up with the top hand and it's pulling the bottom hand up with it? So you're pulling down as you bend and you're pulling up as you straighten. You're pulling down and you're pulling up. And you're pulling down and you're pulling up. And this time as you bend your knee, again, pull up and down equally. So there's no movement in the strap, but there's a lot of action in your shoulders. And as we continue to pull up and down now, we're just going to tip over. And then we're going to come back up. So you're pulling on the strap and you're tipping over and you're coming back up. A couple more. Tip over and come back up. And one more. Tip over and come back up. Great. We're going to straighten the front leg and then we're going to release the bottom arm, release the top arm. We'll turn the feet forward and then let's do the second side. So we'll turn that back foot in, turn the front foot out. You can bend and straighten a couple times. Just get your feet nice and planted. Back foot stays down. And then when you're ready, again, a shorter part of the strap in front, a longer part in the back as it rests in your palm. Then that arm can go up. We'll bend the elbow. We'll reach behind and find that strap. Walk your hands a little closer together. And then pull up and pull down at the same time. You can bend the knee and straighten it, but you're pulling up and down the whole time. Bend the knee and straighten. Now this time as we bend the knee, let's pull down and bring the top hand down a bit. As we straighten, we'll pull up and bring the bottom hand up a bit. So we're pulling down with the bottom hand, pulling up with the top hand, pulling down, pulling up, pulling down, pulling up, One more time like that. Just working on mobility in the shoulders here with strength. As we bend the knee now, let's pull up and down equally. And as we're pulling up and down, we're just going to tip over and then come back up. We're going to tip over and come back up. 2 more times. Tip over and come back up. Last one, tip over. Yeah, asking the core to work a little bit here. And then release the bottom arm, release the top arm, straighten the front leg, turn your feet forward. Feet are parallel now. Place the strap in your hands behind you, your fists pointing back at the wall behind you rather than turned inward. Pull on that strap. Again, so your arms are working. Press into your feet, stand nice and tall, take a breath. As you exhale, hinge forward to flat back. Your knees can soften here. When we're in flat back, let's pull on the strap and reach it to the wall behind us. Then continue to hinge all the way over, knees as soft as you like as your head drops down. Pulling on the strap, reach your arms toward the ceiling. Your grip can widen as much as you like. Maybe you're reaching up, maybe your arms reach forward. Breathe in and out here, pull on that strap. Then reach back with your arms to the wall behind you as you inhale up to flat back. Pause here and take a breath. And then as you exhale, rise all the way up. And then you can stop pulling on your strap. You can walk or jump your feet together. Nice work. Let's make our way down onto the floor. We're going to come all the way down. And we'll set up for a bridge pose. So lying back, have your feet, heels right beneath your knees, feet hip distance apart. Arms at your side, neck long, just looking up at the ceiling, not turning to look at your device now. Let's press the feet down. And initially, press your feet down, but don't lift anything up, right? So if you press the feet down and don't lift anything up, can you feel how the legs are firing? And then use that action of the legs firing to lift your hips up and up and up and up. Come up into a nice high bridge. Pushing down, the knees and shins are pressing forward. The feet are pressing down, those hips come up nice and high. Take a breath at the top. And then use your exhale to slowly, gradually roll down and unfurl your spine. We want the spine to be able to move as incrementally, as individually as possible, rather than it being really stiff. We want it to have some mobility. So taking your time to release out of bridge can help with that spinal mobility. Once you're down, just let everything relax and take a breath. Let's do that again. Pushing down initially without lifting up, and then use that action to lift the hips up. Keep pushing the feet down, knees and shins go forward, hips go up nice and high. When you get up as high as you can, could you lift your heels to get a little bit higher? And then could you keep your knees at that height as you descend your heels down? Once your heels are down, take another breath at the top. And let's again try to articulate the spine on our way down, as if you're releasing a strand of pearls on a dresser, one pearl at a time, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next. Really taking your time to articulate your way down here. It'll take a while, and maybe a big chunk comes down all at once. We will work on that. Eventually, you can relax all the way down and breathe. Great. Let's roll to the side and push up to sitting. And we're going to sit with our legs out in front of us. So if sitting with your legs out in front, you feel kind of rolled back, you're going to want to sit up on a blanket or something. We're going to finish with some seated twist. So one option is to bring one leg in and have it here, flat on the floor. Another option is going to be to cross the leg over. Can you get that foot flat? If not, you might just want to keep the foot on this side. And then the same arm as the leg that you pulled in, that arm goes behind. We want to be rooting down on the sitting bones and feeling the line of the spine nice and tall. This hand could be holding the knee, it could be hugging the knee, it could be to the outside of the knee. Root down to rise up, breathe in. With your exhale, spiral around in the direction of that arm that's behind you. Ribs, chest, shoulders, spiral around. Your head can follow. Your arm position can modify as you go. And once you're spiraled around, take a couple of deep breaths in and out. Being sure to allow that exhale to fully empty and release. Maybe you find at the bottom of that exhale an ability to twist a little further. Go ahead and do so. And then release back around when you're ready. Uncross that leg. Other leg, again, foot could be on the inside or cross to the outside. That same arm is that leg that crossed over, goes behind. That other arm can be wherever is best for you. Root down, rise up, breathe in, and then spiral towards that arm that's behind you. Ribs, chest, shoulders, head and neck. And then just feel your breath. Feel it moving in and down. Feel it emptying all the way out. After your next exhalation, you can unwind. We can uncross. And we're going to make our way into our final relaxation. So setting yourself up now to be warm and comfortable. We had a big change in temperature outside, so maybe it's warm where you are, maybe it's cool where you are, but if it's cool, cover up. You could put a blanket over you or put a layer on, put on some socks. If it's more comfortable to put something under your head or under your knees, please do so. And as you begin to lie back, just feel your body settling. You might shift or wiggle a little bit just until you get to that position where you don't feel the need to shift or wiggle anymore. You're nice and able to let the body relax. And then we just allow this process of relaxation to unfold. Some parts of the body relax quite readily. Other areas might have a habit of holding tension. They might be a little more slow to relax. But we give ourselves permission to relax and let go now. To soften, to settle, and release. Feeling the weight of the legs melt into the floor. Allowing the weight of the hips to drop. Letting the belly soften and unclench. Releasing the weight of the shoulders, arms, and hands into the floor. Softening the palms. Relaxing the chest. As we let the weight of the head release heavily back, Just allow all the facial muscles to soften and smooth. And let your mind be like your body, just resting here now. Open and free. Giving ourselves permission to just be here now as we are. Nothing we need to do or accomplish. Just embracing the fullness of relaxation. There's a quality of lightness that we can experience when we relax. That freedom of worry or care or burden. That lightness of being that comes from being free. So often we get bogged down in the heaviness, the challenges of our lives. And there's value in letting that all go and just experiencing this lightness and freedom. That carefree state of a child. Let yourself perhaps feel a little bit of a smile, either an actual smile or just an inner smile. Just let yourself feel contented in the freedom of just being here as you are. In this moment, just choosing happiness. And if you'd like to stay resting longer, you're welcome to do so. If you want to transition now, you can open your eyes. We can bring our feet to the floor. We can gently roll to the side and take a moment or two to transition. When we're ready, we can make our way up to sitting, find a way to sit comfortably. We might bring our hands to heart and take a few moments for ourselves. Gratitude, love. Thanks for being here this morning. Great to be with you. Peace.